my agent sent me over this kind of PDF, and it was the presentation of this Sampa project that Nike had made. I was like 2 nights before my match at Wimbledon, and it was so beautiful. It was like the message behind it was great. I felt that it fit me so much, and I mean, I was so
One name, one word, Ayala. And right now, that single word is sending Nike's sales charts into orbit, igniting a frenzy among Filipino fans unlike anything the sports merchandise world has seen coming. Nobody saw this wave building, not at the speed, not at the scale. But Alex Eala has always had a way of surprising people, and this time she did it from a podcast chair, seated directly across from Jessica Pegula, one of the most respected voices in professional tennis today. What unfolded in that conversation didn't just make headlines. It triggered a commercial movement that is still accelerating as you read this. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on every detail, what was said, what it sparked, and why this moment reaches far beyond a simple merchandise drop. It began the way most defining moments do, quietly, naturally, without warning. When two elite tennis stars sit down for an honest conversation, the world leans in. But nobody in that room, and nobody watching, could have anticipated what Alex Eala was about to set in motion. Right there, mid-conversation with Pegula, she confirmed that her brand new Sampa collection with Nike was officially going live. Her excitement was unmistakable, her energy contagious. And the second those words left her mouth, something remarkable happened.
I was just so happy to be there, and I was like wearing my little flower.
The fans didn't wait. They didn't pause. They didn't think twice. They moved. Across the Philippines, stores were flooded almost instantly. Fans who had been following Alex Eala's rise with swelling pride and unwavering devotion rushed to claim their piece of this moment. And honestly, why wouldn't they? Because this is not just merchandise. This is meaning wrapped in fabric. At the heart of the Sampa collection sits the Sampaguita, the national flower of the Philippines, proudly and deliberately placed where it cannot be missed. This collection doesn't just carry a design, it carries a story of identity, of national pride, of a young woman from the Philippines who climbed to the summit of professional tennis and is now being celebrated on a global stage by one of the most powerful sports brands on earth. That kind of moment doesn't come around often. When it does, people feel it. And the collection itself? Stunning doesn't quite cover it. The centerpiece is a crisp white shirt set against a rich green background, with the Sampaguita flower sitting front and center, clean, elegant, and loaded with meaning. Alongside it, Ayala's now iconic Sampaguita hairband, paired with a matching set of white shoes that pull the entire look together seamlessly. Stylish, symbolic, unmistakably her. Nike didn't just design merchandise here. They crafted a cultural statement. And the Filipino people received it exactly the way it was meant to land. The numbers are already telling the story. Early projections suggest the Sampa collection could generate somewhere between $1 and $5 million within its first week alone. Let that sink in. 1 week. A single merchandise drop. That is the kind of figure that silences boardrooms, commands executive attention, and confirms what a growing number of people have understood for some time now. Alex Eala is not simply a tennis player. She is a commercial force, rare in this sport and rarer still from this region. Nike knows precisely what they have, and they are treating it accordingly. What makes this even more compelling is that none of it happened by accident. Nike has been building toward this deliberately, methodically, and with clear strategic intent. Around every major tournament, they have been releasing personalized collections woven through with Ayala's identity and the imagery of the Philippines, generating momentum before the first ball is even struck. The formula is working. And with every release, the hunger from fans doesn't plateau. It grows. Eala herself is no silent participant in any of this. During the podcast, she spoke about receiving the Sampaguita flower as the inspiration behind her collection with genuine emotion and visible gratitude. She called it a pride moment, and those words carried real weight. You could feel it. This is a young woman who understands deeply what that flower represents to her people, and the fact that Nike chose to build her collection around that symbol is something that clearly moves her. She didn't hold that feeling back. She celebrated the collection with open enthusiasm, with warmth, with joy. And when Alex Eala gets excited about something, the rest of the world tends to follow. That's just who she is.
And sent me over this kind of PDF, and it was the presentation of this Sampa project that Nike had made. I was like 2 nights before my match at Wimbledon, and it was so beautiful. It was like the message behind it was great. I felt that it fit me so much, and I mean, I was so lucky.
Now step back. Take in the full picture. Because what is unfolding between Nike and Alex Eala right now is not an isolated moment. It is part of something far greater, far more deliberate, and far more significant than a single merchandise drop or a single podcast appearance. Cast your mind back to Indian Wells. That is where Nike made a move that turned heads across the industry. They announced that a renewed contract with Eala was coming, one with substantially more weight behind it. They offered hints. They built anticipation with precision. They let the excitement breathe. And then, just before Miami, they made it official in a way that nobody was quite prepared for. Nike didn't just announce a new deal. They opened a gallery in her name. An entire dedicated space. A curated celebration of her most iconic moments in professional tennis. A historic milestone, not only for Eala personally, but for the sport of tennis across the whole of Southeast Asia. That gallery alone communicates volumes about how Nike sees her. This is not a brand paying an athlete to wear a logo. This is a brand making a declaration, constructing a legacy, and committing to a future they believe is going to be extraordinary. And they didn't stop at the gallery. Nike went further, designing a pair of custom shoes made specifically and personally for Eala. A deeply intimate gesture. A symbol of genuine investment, not just financial, but human. They are not simply sponsoring her career. They're walking alongside it. The financial terms of the deal, when they emerged, were jaw-dropping. A reported $45 million over 3 years, with performance incentives capable of pushing that figure even higher. But beyond the money, and the money is remarkable, what truly defines this partnership is the role Eala has been handed within the Nike family. She is now the official face of the brand across the entire Southeast Asian market. Custom outfits. Global promotional campaigns. A level of visibility that most athletes spend entire careers chasing and never quite reaching. Eala is arriving there at a pace that is almost difficult to comprehend. And Nike's urgency didn't come from nowhere. They had a lesson already learned. When Coco Gauff star rose swiftly, Nike hesitated, and New Balance stepped in without blinking. That stung. It was a reminder that in the business of sports, timing is everything and second chances are not guaranteed. Nike was not going to make the same mistake twice. When they saw what Eala represented, the magnitude, the momentum, the cultural resonance, they moved with conviction, and they moved fast. The results, as they stand today, are speaking loudly. Nike is recording extraordinary sales numbers on a global scale, and a powerful engine driving that momentum carries one name. Because what Alex Eala represents has always exceeded the boundaries of tennis. For millions of people across the Philippines and across Southeast Asia, she is not just an athlete. She is a symbol of possibility. She is living proof that greatness carries no postcode, that dreams observe no borders, and that a young woman from the Philippines can stand at the very peak of her sport and make the entire world take notice. Every time she walks onto a court, she makes people believe. Every time she launches something new, she makes people proud. Every time she sits across from someone like Jessica Pegula and lights up the room with her passion and her presence, she reminds millions of fans exactly why they fell in love with her story in the first place. Nike has recognized all of that, and they're channeling it into something the world is now watching closely. The Sampa collection is just the opening chapter. The gallery is just one wall of a much larger building. The $45 million deal is just the foundation being poured. The story of Alex Eala and Nike is still being written, and every new page promises to be bigger, bolder, and more unforgettable than the last. Stay locked in, because this ride has barely left the starting line.